Well, I am here with professional golfer Nick Hardy. Nick, how you doing today?
Great. How you doing, Nick?
Congratulations on what was last week at the Waste Management, and more importantly, as a fan, that Monday qualifier. That was a very fun thing to watch from home.
Yeah, thank you, dude.
So, I mean, being in a Monday qualifier and doing what you did, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you chipped in on 17 for birdie, made a putt on 18 for birdie. Playoff holes, you go birdie, birdie to win, right? Or am I wrong?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so, big thing that we want to know is with mood and mindset, where are you at mentally with those holes? I mean, you know what you need to do to get to eventually play in the big tournament that upcoming Thursday. What's going through your head during that time?
I'm really trying to just be laser focused, slowing down my breath. It's a pretty intense time because, Monday qualifiers, you got to go low and you kind of set a number beforehand where you're like, yeah, that's what I got to shoot. And when you go set out to do it, being as competitive as I am, usually I'm trying to slow down my breathing, stay in the moment, stay patient. And I'm always working on those things constantly during the 5 hours I'm on the golf course.
Yeah, you mentioned kind of slowing down your breath. Do you practice breathing exercises throughout the round or pre-shot? How does that work?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really do like so-called exercises that like are like, oh, like I'm doing, 6 breaths a minute, but I'm trying to slow down on my breath to 6 to 8 breaths a minute. And I like doing deep inhales. During the whole round. I'm probably, I feel like I found what works for me, and I'd like to do deep inhales through the nose and exhales out of the mouth. So that, I've learned kind of what works for me in terms of breathing habits. I do, yoga off the course, and that helps me be more connected to my breathing, just in kind of daily routine, daily life. So it's a big part of golf and, lives in general.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it. Yoga off the course. I mean, that's a pretty new one for probably a lot of our listeners in terms of what they're doing to get their body in the right shape. What else are you doing off the course that's helping you get to where you're at?
I try to just stick to good habits. I don't do much else in terms of exercise related to golf. I just like to, just stay flexible. I feel like yoga 2 to 3 days a week helps me keep that flexibility and just it sort of just resets my body and my muscles. I feel like, and I don't really do any other exercises. Like I like to roll out and make sure my muscles are long and lean, but really it's just my habits, my sleep and my eating. I've worked on my nutrition a lot, but I've always been a big proponent of getting to bed early and waking up early. I like to get to bed, try to get to sleep by 9:30 latest, and usually I'm up by 6:30.
Yeah, so you got a pretty strict for the same sleep schedule. You want to, like you said, 9:30. Kind of is that daily, or does it change at all when you're more in season or
Right.
having those big tournaments?
Totally. Like it will change because, especially when in tournaments when, normally I have Thursday, Friday round, one of them will be in the afternoon. So I'll either be early, late or late, early. And so that late round is key, because usually you're getting off the course about 6 o'clock. And normally I like to eat dinner early because eating dinner early allows me to go to sleep early, much easier. So if I'm eating dinner around 7:30 after that late round, it's hard for me to get my body to turn around and get to sleep by 9:30.
Yeah.
So I'm always concerned and always worried about getting the dinner in me right as I get off the golf course. And just like that, Monday last week, I got off the course late and try to have a light but full dinner as early as possible so I can get to sleep as early as possible.
Yeah, when you're going throughout these meals throughout the day, either in season or out of season during the tournament stretch, Thursday to Sunday, are you keeping track of your macros at all? Are you kind of sticking to a almost a diet plan, or how do you balance that?
I'm trying to just through my girlfriend, I've been eating a little bit, better as of late. Last year, she's very a healthy person. She loves to study on health habits and nutrition. Just trying not to eat as much processed food and sugar and not too many carbs. So I mean, as a healthier meal, I really like to eat, fish and broccoli or salmon and broccoli or something like that. That's it's just a light. It won't stuff you to your core, but it's just a very nutritious meal that is easy on the stomach. So that's what I feel. I feel like general public doesn't do a good enough job of eating early before bed, because a lot of people eat at 7:30 and they just can't go to bed till 11:30. I think that's a big misconception in the general public.
Yeah, looking back on you as let's go back to you as a high school athlete. If you could speak to yourself now, what are some words or advice of encouragement that you would give to yourself? If that's from how often you need to be practicing to get to where you are today, obviously you did something right, or
Yep.
your diet back then, now that like that needs to be changed, or your sleeping habits. What can you?
Specifically as a high school athlete, many kids are going through their, maybe some awkward times, like with, especially socially. I was, as a high school student, I never drank alcohol. I never like just, kind of induce myself in those sort of scenarios. I like to go to bed early, even when I was in high school, even on weekends. Like I had my friends, believe me, don't get me wrong. I went out and had fun with my friends, but I never drank alcohol. And I've always been a proponent of getting to bed early and waking up early. And even in high school, I was doing those. I was pretty strict to my schedule on doing those things, just because I just enjoyed living life that way. It wasn't any other reason, like being like I just didn't. It wasn't that I just didn't want to drink. It's just I just liked living life like that. So during high school, that's kind of the habits I got started with.
Yeah, and then correct me as I'm wrong. I had the pleasure of being in college with you and kind of seeing you from a distance, kind of go throughout your day. But those practices that you started in high school, not partaking in the parties, not partaking in the alcohol consumption, that carried over to your college career, and it had to, right? It had to be a little bit more strict. Can you speak?
Totally. So in high school, I obviously did not have as many responsibilities as I did in college, but I think I was more prepared for those responsibilities in college, whether you're a normal student or a college student with where you're in tons of other outside, things you're doing on the campus, or even just an athlete. I mean, you got responsibilities to take care of more so than when you were in high school. And I felt like I was more ready for those responsibilities, just getting good habits in high school. And I was really, I felt like I was more mature than the rest of the students my age, and I felt like I was, making good decisions, but also having fun. It was a good balance. I felt like I had a good balance, especially in college, because I definitely had more responsibilities than the normal college student. So I had to, be a little bit stricter and smarter with the things I did on campus.
Yeah, and being a collegiate athlete, and then this also pertains to high school as well. How are you able to balance your athletic lifestyle and like getting the practice in and doing what you need to do on the field, on the court, on the course, and also your academics?
Right. Obviously, with the more responsibility you have, the more sacrifices you got to make with, one of your lives, whether it's a social life, athletic life, or student life. Because I had more responsibility with my student and, athletic lives, I had, social life, I had to take a hit a little bit. So I definitely just made sure I got my work done in my athletics and my schooling, which, to the point where I was satisfied. And, that left some time for the social activity for sure. I still had my fun. I still, like to go out on college campus and go to bars and stuff, but definitely way lesser to the, limit that, other normal students were going.
Yeah, for sure. And then I kind of know a little bit of the background and how much COVID affected you, and more so you professionally. But with COVID being what it is, what was your mindset throughout that, and what your mentality on how to handle that?
Yeah. So I felt like, COVID affected everyone. But during that time when it hit, like from March till June, where things were really uncertain, no sports were going on in the world. Nobody was working in offices. I took advantage of that time by just really working hard at my craft. Like I knew that in any world of competition, whether you're in business or in school or in academics or in sports, you can get ahead of your competition during those sorts of times, especially such a unique time being quarantine and COVID. I just kept working hard and knew at some point we were going to start back up again. Nobody knew, but I didn't care. I knew there was going to be a end goal in sight. So I kind of worked hard and made sure to make the most of that time.
Yeah. And then what are some people in your life growing up that helped you get to where you were today? Some adults or maybe even just friends?
Um, you know, I feel like my parents, first and foremost, I think they really instilled the habits that I have today. They're really, kind of, I would say, go getters. They both get up early in the mornings, and both have trained for marathons, multiple marathons, and they're both strict to a schedule. They live, they're deep into routines. So I think that's kind of instilled in me.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna throw a hypothetical at you. You can let me know if you've been through it or not. But you're on the course, you're in a tournament, you're middle of the fairway, you're thinking this is go zone, you hit a bad shot. What's going through your head right after that shot? How are you able to refocus onto moving to that next shot?
Yeah. So when I hit a bad shot out there, I really don't. I try not to react. I really don't react to it. When I'm playing my best and when I'm at my peak performance, I don't react to that shot. Don't say a word. No negative thoughts cross my mind. Wherever I am, my golf ball ends up, I'm thinking about the next shot. That's when I'm at my peak performance, is when I just shut my mouth. And it's pretty easy as a golfer to react to those sort of things and to get down, to say stupid stuff after a bad shot. It's really not beneficial, especially as a professional. The power of the mind is a very powerful thing, and just not reacting is a big goal of mine out there.
Yeah, and then I know golf it's obviously an individual sport, but you do have your caddy with you. He's basically your sidekick at all times. How important is that relationship between you and your caddy, and that it's a positive atmosphere during your round?
It's a very important one. You both want to be on the same page, same wavelength, just regarding how you both operate out there. It's important to be honest. It's important to be, just I think on the same page. That's really the number one thing. I mean, and the vibes are key. I think if you're on the same page, it'll go well out there. I believe that. But you know, my caddy and I have a great relationship, and we kind of just when we get on the golf course, we're in our zone, we're in our routine. Just like anything else in life. I'm in my routine when I'm living my day-to-day life, and I'm in my routine when I'm on the golf course for those 5 hours.
Yeah, that's all we really had. It was going to be quick. I really appreciate you, taking the time out of your busy schedule. It means a lot for
Of
us.
course,
A lot of high school athletes can kind of relate to you, even
of
if
course. Thanks for having me, Nick.